Welcome into another edition of the Real Ballz podcast. I am your host, Ryan Squires, and man, do I have a great show for you today. It's going to be an exciting show. Got a lot to cover, a lot going on in the bowling world still. It's amazing. It just keeps turning, just keeps going. There's always something going on. So let's get started on this Friday. Get your weekend off to a great start. Next week's Thanksgiving, so we're going to have a couple of short shows. But I want to start by dedicating this podcast to my number one fan who always leaves me comments, watches. He actually hate watches and leaves comments, but that would be Donnie Lehman. Donnie, I cannot wait to see your comments after today's episode. They're always so much fun to watch or read and comment on. But I want to encourage everyone to follow us on our new Twitter page and on our new YouTube page. You can find it on Twitter at Ballz Bowling, Ballz Bowling. And you can subscribe on our new YouTube channel at the Ballz Bowling Network. So make sure to check those out and subscribe and follow. Get up-to-date information. Get different content on each network. And we're also going to be doing some giveaways. So that'll be really cool to see. And I'm excited about that and excited to get everything rolling and kind of get more and more going with this network. So it should be fun. Now, I want to start by diving into some bowling news. Just like that, we were reporting on EBI on Wednesday. We talked about how EBI was signing Bill O'Neill, signing Don Barrett, and now, for sure, without a doubt, who was left? Who did we say was the face of EBI? Tommy Jones. So, Lucas Wiseman from Flow Bowling announced today that EBI signed Tommy Jones to a 4-year deal through 2022. So what that does is that makes Tommy Jones the face of EBI, which we already knew he was. It makes Bill O'Neill the face of Hammer, and it makes Don Barrett the face of Track. Now what I want to know, and what I'm trying to figure out is, who then is the face of Columbia? Who are they going to make the face of Columbia? Because right now Josh Blanchard's throwing Columbia. But are they going to bring somebody in? Are they going to bring somebody new in to be the face of Columbia? But without a doubt, they signed Tommy because he was the face of EBI. But what I want to know also is, while this makes a big splash, while this is important and it is good for EBI, it kind of just maintains the status quo. People will say, well, look at what they did. They're making moves. But the fact of the matter is that they already had Tommy. They already had Bill. They already had Dom. They had those players already. So it kind of maintains the status quo of what they already have. So are they improving? Are they getting any better? Where does EBI stand in the grand scheme of things would be my question. So next up, I want to cover IBPSIA. Okay, so found out the other day that, I'm going to adjust this chair. Found out the other day that IBPSIA has some new board members. And I'm going to read off the new board members, and this could be good or it could be really bad. So, IBPSIA got 3 new board members. They got Cliff Barnes, they got Jason Guest, and then they got Peter Someoff. I don't know who that is. But anyway, so these are the 3 new board members for IBPSIA. Now, we all know, if you're in the pro shop business, who Cliff Barnes is. Cliff Barnes started out actually just with a couple of shops. He wasn't very big, but he blew up. He got great locations. He was very good at his acquisitions. And he's across multiple states. But Cliff Barnes has 55 pro shop locations. Jason Guest works for KR, but was in the pro shop business before. And so I want to circle back, though, to Cliff Barnes. Now, Cliff Barnes, with his 55 pro shop locations, he obviously should be a part of IBPSIA. I cannot express that enough because he has an insight that most pro shop operators don't. However, it's going to be very difficult for a small 1-unit pro shop operator to go, you know what, that guy can relate to me. It's just going to be difficult because he's got so much in so many shops that a small pro shop operator might look at it and go, well, what does he have to do with me? How does he affect me? And when I look at Jason Guest, I'm going to read you these bios that they have for these individuals. Okay, so Jason Guest brings his talents from Des Moines, Iowa to the board. He is a certified bronze coach and an IBPSIA certified technician. He has been in the pro shop business since '97 when he opened his first Bowlers Connection Pro Shop. Jason formerly worked for Brunswick as a product specialist and a pro shop technician, and has been instrumental in the creation of KR Strikeforce line of bowling footwear. He says, "My passion is shoes. I love the pro shop business, and I know that a comfortable living can be made from it, and want to share the knowledge with the whole pro shop world." Okay, so Jason Guest works for KR, still in the pro shop business, possibly. I don't know if he still is or not, but he was, and he has that experience. And then we've got Peter Someoff. That's what I'm going to go with, Someoff. So Someoff may claim Peter Somoff's pro shop in Tacoma, Washington as home base, but more often will be found on another continent as Storm Bowling Products International Technical Representative for Europe and Africa. Someoff is a certified gold coach, IBPSIA advanced technician, and HOTS instructor who has taught all over the globe, he said. "My vision for IBPSIA is to see more international certified pro shops." He was one of the original people involved with Storm Products, Inc., hosting the first Storm seminar, being a ball tester, and representing Storm in the international and domestic markets. So this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets really good or really bad. So we got Cliff Barnes. Could be difficult for him to relate to a smaller pro shop, but has the knowledge to help IBPSIA expand to bigger pro shops, okay, and get more shops. You got Jason Guest. Now, Jason Guest was a pro shop operator, has the knowledge, again, but works for a manufacturer like KR, and, you know, there's some conflict there. And then you got Peter Somoff, so you look at him, and he's a gold coach, an IBPSIA advanced technician. He is one of the original Storm, people, one of the original people involved with Storm products. So you got somebody like that that's so overqualified. There's no doubt they should be a part of IBPSIA. But here's the problem. Out of the 3 board members you have one that's a major chain operator. You have a second one who works for KR, and you have a third one that works for Storm. Even though they have all that knowledge, they have all that expertise and everything they bring to the table, they bring so much in knowledge, so much in education, and they know a lot. They've been around a lot. They have been in the business, but they're still part of manufacturers. And we talked about this in our IBPSIA episode about getting away from manufacturers. If we don't get the pro shops away from manufacturers and separate a clear boundary between the two, we run into a problem by saying, hey, defend the pro shop industry in the small pro shops from what manufacturers are doing in this aspect or that aspect. There's no independence there, and that's something that we have talked about in our previous IBPSIA podcast. So I really want to stress, and I can't stress it enough, their knowledge is imperative. What they know should absolutely be a part of the day-to-day operations of IBPSIA. They can help IBPSIA in a way that most can't. But at the same time, we've got to be very careful as pro shop operators because these are board members. IBPSIA, even though it's an education, organization, it's starting to get further and further away from the pro shop support, and more people are becoming board members that are manufacturer related versus pro shop related. So we got to look out for that one. Keep an eye out for that. But I want to dive into the PBA Player of the Year and the Rookie of the Year. Okay, so they announced that on Flow Bowling on Tuesday, they're going to announce the PBA Player of the Year. Top 3 in the running: Don Barrett, EJ Tackett, Andrew Anderson. Now I'm going to give you my take on this. And this is why I brought it up, because everybody's already seen that that's who's in it. But you've got 2 EBI guys there. And we had just talked about EBI on Wednesday, right before they announced this. And you also have a Motive guy there. But what you don't have is you don't have a Storm bowler in the top 3 for the PBA Player of the Year. That's what stood out most to me. Out of everything there, out of all the announcements, was that no Storm player was in the top 3 for PBA Player of the Year. And why that stands out to me is simply because if you think about the players that Storm has, if you think about Belmo, Pete Weber, Norm Duke, you think about Marshall Kent, just all the players, Kyle Troop, all the players that have Storm products, and Anthony Simonson, Rotogrip, Francois Lavoie, Storm. They just have such an array of talented players that for not one of them to be in the top 3 in Player of the Year, when was the last time a Storm player was not in the top 3 for Player of the Year? I can't even remember, to be honest with you. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find the top 3. You could only find the winner, but I'd love to know when the last time a Storm bowler was not in the top 3. That's what stood out to me the most. But it also stood out that just showed exactly what we talked about before, that EBI has continued to improve over the last couple years and has continued to build up. Now, the Rookie of the Year, I have a real issue with the Rookie of the Year. And I'm starting to debate whether the Rookie of the Year is even necessary, because unless we get serious and define what a rookie is and say, okay, well, this is what defines a rookie, then it has no meaning. So you got Cameron Doyle, Rafiq Ismail, and I'm going to butcher this name, but I'm going to go with Anap Aramsaranan. Okay, that's just what I'm going to go with, and I'm probably wrong, but here's the problem I have. So Cameron Doyle has been bowling in PBA events since he was like 14 years old, 12 years old. I mean, it was a big deal, bowling regionals and whatnot. So as he's bowled over the years, he bowled in college, he bowled PBA regionals. He's been bowling for a while. So why then are we considering them a rookie? Okay, and that's what drives me crazy when I see that. Yeah, okay, great, he's had a good year. I'm happy for the kid. Good for him. You know, he's put a lot of work into it. He's probably been humbled, I'm sure, because coming out, that was definitely not the case. So I'm sure he's been humbled, but he's improving, and I'm happy to see that. But what defines him as a rookie? How many years do you bowl in the PBA and still get to be a rookie? How many events do you bowl in the PBA and still get to be a rookie? If you go by, well, one full season, well, hell, I could bowl 4 or 5 seasons, just bowl like half the season or 3/4 of the season. And then when I'm finally ready to go, I'll go out and say, okay, I'm going to tear it up, and now I'm Rookie of the Year. So I think that the PBA really needs to look into how they award the Rookie of the Year, because it is, if it's truly going to a rookie, someone that's their first year out, they're really putting time and effort into it, money, they're investing, that's fine. But if you're just going with someone who you say, okay, well, it's their first full season, now they've competed every year for the last 4 or 5 years, this event and that event, then, you know, we really need to take a look at that and fix that. Now, I want to dive into something that I saw the other day when I was doing some research, because I had requested some documents from the USBC, and they weren't willing to send them to me. So I dove into their privacy practice, okay? And I wanted to share this with everybody because I think it's important. And some of you are probably going to say, well, I don't care, I expect it. Some of you are going to say, I didn't know that, that's a surprise. But I wanted to kind of cover this with you. And so I'm going to pull this picture up here real quick and go over it, because it is actually rather important to the bowler. So when you sanction as a bowler and you say, I want to be a USBC member, there are certain things that come with that. You give them your information, they sanction you. You expect them to be the national sanctioning body, they sanction you, national governing body. But there's a few things in their privacy policy I want to read to you first and foremost. So a few of the lines here are: provided name and contact information, postal address, email address, phone numbers, and the like to third parties under agreement with us to offer services, products, offers, and discounts to you. So this is under the ability to sell your information. So let me read that again. So to sell your information, they can provide your name and contact information, postal address, email address, phone numbers, and the like, and I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, to third parties under an agreement with us to offer services, products, offers, and discounts to you. So if the USBC makes an agreement with somebody, they can share your information. Not if you do, but if they do. Okay? Now, there's a disclosure of information here, and I want to read this too, and this is kind of gets a little hairy too. It says, we also provide and in certain circumstances sell personal information collected on our site to our marketing partners for purposes of sending you promotional offers and notices of products and services offerings which we believe may be of interest to you. We do use the anonymous data and the personally identifiable information collected through our site for statistical purposes and for improving the site, as well as for marketing purposes as part of our responses to your questions or requests for information in response to comments and other content posted by site users, and potentially when sending commercial emails to you. So this applies to their website. This applies to you sanctioning as a bowler. You are a member, and when you are a member, this applies to you. So basically they're saying we can sell all your information on occasion, should we choose to our marketing partners, and then they can use that information to contact you. Now, this is what bothers me more than any of it. It's the security of it. It's not the fact that they sell information. Everybody sells information. Okay, you got people's information. Everybody does it. That doesn't bother me one bit. Okay, it's part of where we live nowadays. But the security is what bothered me. So here's the security measures taken by the USBC and how they word it. And I want you to listen to how they word this, because if your information ever got stolen or ever got leaked by the USBC, this is how it goes. We will take reasonable, whatever defines reasonable is the question, reasonable measures which they believe. So reasonable measures that they believe, that could be like saying, okay, well, we will give them to an intern and just have them put them in their desk. Or, put it in a folder that says, hey, steal this information, and say, well, we thought that was reasonable. But we will take reasonable measures which we believe are appropriate to protect your information from loss, misuse, alteration, or destruction, and where possible, will ask that any third party to whom we may transfer your information take comparable steps to protect that security. So they're taking reasonable measures to their standards. But then when they sell your information or transfer it, they're going to ask the people they sell it to or transfer it to take care of your information as well. So I'm going to take your social security number, okay, and I'm just going to sit it on my desk. I'm going to call that reasonable. Then, Steve comes to me and says, hey, I want to buy that social security number for $10. And I hand it to him and I say, Steve, will you please take reasonable measures to protect that? Steve says, sure, I definitely will do that. And Steve's like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care. But see, that's the point. Not only is it the information, it's the security of it. All they're doing is asking. So they're going to ask any third party to whom they may transfer your information to take comparable steps to protect that security. Although we will use all reasonable efforts to safeguard the confidentiality of any visitor information collected, we shall have no liability for disclosure of any visitor information obtained due to errors in transmission or the unnaturalized acts of third parties or unauthorized acts of third parties. So let me finish that last sentence again. No liability for disclosure of any visitor information obtained due to errors in transmission or the unauthorized acts of third parties. So those third parties that they're selling your information to, if they act in a negative way, even though the USBC is the one who sold them that information, they profited from it. Even though they profited from it, they have no liability if that third party, takes you and uses that information for a negative purpose. That right there to me is a really, really big problem. And you can opt out of it on the USBC's website, the information part. But when you sign up to be a bowler, when you register to be a bowler, when you sanction to be a bowler and you fill out all your information, you might think, okay, yeah, they're going to sell my information. Everybody does. Okay, it happens. And I could see why you would think that. But to say that they're just going to ask the third party that they sell it to take care of it, to say that they are not liable, they have no responsibility whatsoever if that third party acts in a negative way, that to me is just absolutely ridiculous, because I look at that and I say, well, wait a minute. I didn't give that third party my information. I gave it to you. But in order to bowl, I have to fill out a sanction card in order to be a sanctioned member. But as soon as I fill out that sanction card, you're going to sell my information. So if I want to bowl, I got to be willing to sell my information. And that to me is just not right. You should be able to compete and bowl without having to worry about some third party getting your information and doing God knows what with it. It just doesn't seem right. So I don't know. I am not very, I don't like that thought. I don't like my information out there, and I don't like it being sold to third parties and having no one being liable, because I'm sure the third party also has that same writing on their page as well. So who do you hold liable when someone like that screws up? When it gets out, is it the third party? Is it the USBC? Because you had no idea where your information was even at in the first place. So I just think that's ridiculous. But, moving on to something a little more positive, I'm going to be doing this is the third year I've done it. This is the first year for the show, but my raffle for Riley, which is the raffle for Riley Children's Hospital's Toys for Tots. Okay. So raffle tickets will go on sale on Monday, and I will be raffling off, and it'll depend on how many we can sell. Hopefully we can sell a lot, but we'll be raffling off 2 bowling balls of your choice to 2 different winners, 2-ball KR roller, 2 ultra accessory packs valued at $50 each, and multiple gift cards. And what we do is we take these products, and it will depend on how much is donated. We may be able to raffle off more, but we take these products and we raffle them off, and you can buy raffle tickets. I set it up so that I've got the little invoice thing I can send you where you can pay for it direct or pay PayPal. But we'll be selling the raffle tickets. Then the money gets used in. We go and pick out a bunch of toys for the kids at Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis and take them to them. They've got the burn unit there. They've got the cancer unit there. They've got all kinds of different, that's where the serious conditions are, the kids that are really fighting. And we just go buy toys, take them to them, and try to make sure that they have an awesome Christmas, regardless of whatever they're going through, that they get something for Christmas, that they, because a lot of the families that are there are stretched financially through all the medical bills. So we always try to do a raffle off some bowling stuff and raffle off some gift cards. And then that way we can raise money, we can get the kids the stuff, and we can make sure everybody gets stuff for Christmas regardless of their situation. So those will go on sale on Monday, so don't be a cheap ass. Actually buy the tickets. It's Square. I got the Square app where I can send the invoice, or PayPal. And what I do is I will actually send you digital copies of your raffle tickets, so you'll know which ones are yours. And then we do the drawing December 23rd. So it'll be right before Christmas, and then we go on Christmas Eve to Riley and take the gifts up there. So it'll be really fun to do that again and get those gifts out to them. But, don't be a cheap ass. Buy the tickets. Help the kids. If your Christmas is not going to be near as important as theirs, because simply they may not have another one. So do what you can. Do your part. Share this. Make sure you share this online and get that word out so that we can get more and more people to buy those tickets. On Monday, we'll have a show. However, Wednesday and Friday are up in the air. I'm planning on Wednesday doing a show, but Friday I know I won't. But Monday I plan on doing a show. We're going to do a product showcase. I'm going to, for all you Black Friday bowling ball shoppers, I'm going to kind of put together an arsenal and say, hey, this is what you should buy, shouldn't buy if you're starting out, or if you're wanting to get a new ball. So I'll be putting that together, and we'll be doing a show on Monday, maybe Wednesday, but not on Friday. But other than that, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. We'll go over the bowling ball lineups, the equipment and all that, and that way you can be ready to go for Black Friday. I appreciate everybody checking it out. I'll see you all on Monday, and have a great weekend. Enjoy your upcoming Thanksgiving if you don't come and watch on Monday. Thank you, and have a good day.